Okay, I think we're all up and ready. Recording here. All right. Hi, Tim Bartz here, Internet Sales Manager, McArthur, Ford, Salina, Kansas. Welcome to the live stream. We are going to be doing a lot of updating on some news here. So I do want to just kind of thank everyone for joining me. And I know there's been some news released today that everybody wants to talk about when it has in regards to Maverick. And we are going to kind of jump in. I want to talk about a bunch of things in today. So there's a lot of news, a lot of things I want to cover and talk about. So most of it does have to do with the Maverick, but there are a couple things that have to do with other models as well. So let's jump in. First, I want to talk about this week's production scheduling notes. One of them does have to do with the Maverick. So this week, it is a cleanup week. So, we finished our wholesale. We just got done with that. The rest of the dealers are finishing up their wholesale meeting this week. Next week is when we're going to see production numbers for the allocations for the next month. So even though it's the beginning of September and I thought it was going to start this week, from what I understand is next week is the week they're going to start production for September scheduling for production for future months. Depends on what model you're looking at. For Maverick, that's November production. So you'll have another week of cleanup there, and so we'll see those numbers. So I'll go over some of the numbers that we have for Maverick in just a little bit, but just kind of clarify some of the other things. So this week, 2021s that are going to be scheduled this week, those will be scheduled on Thursday, will be the Ford Bronco, and they did say they're going to pull only first editions. So for those of you waiting for your first edition Bronco schedule date, this Thursday be a good day for you to be checking your emails. EcoSport as well is going to be this Thursday. Expedition for 21, they are trying to close out Expedition. We're getting real close to the closeout there, as well as the 21 Explorer. So they actually have the date is done for orders for Explorer. This would be for any build outs for 21. So 2022 models that are being scheduled this Thursday. Maverick will be scheduled again for dealerships that haven't fulfilled their allocations. McArthur's fulfilled all theirs, so they're not going to be one of those. For this month, or for this week, it will be EcoBoost only. So we'll talk a little bit about the hybrid in just a little bit. We'll get to that. Also, Super Duty will be retail only orders, no orders with the adaptive steering still, and then the Transit Connect and van and wagon as well for 22. So not scheduled this week in the capacity. Bronco Sport won't be scheduled this week. Edge F-150 will not be. We're hoping that maybe there are a few people that want to get a 21 F-150 in. That's being, kind of closing out here soon. Mach-E, Ranger, as well as Transit are not scheduling this week. Now, of course, we already know the update that's been on there for a while is the Maverick with the 4K with the front-wheel drive, not available still. People think that maybe that's going to come back. That has been changed. I did, from our wholesale meeting, they did kind of clue us in. There were 618 national people that selected the 4K with the front-wheel drive. And of those people, there were, I think, where's my note here? 43 of those were already scheduled for build. So those 43 will have to change theirs a little bit different than everybody else. Everybody else, they're unscheduled, which I think that leaves 500 and something that are still unscheduled. They can go to their dealer to change that order because that will not get built that way. So if you don't change it, it will not get built. And so that's we want to make sure you do that. So let's talk about a little bit about our wholesale meeting. So I got to sit in this week. Normally, I usually don't do that. That's not part of my job description. But because of your guys' questions, I've been asking a lot of questions, and so they're allowing me to sit in on the wholesale meeting. So basically, each region goes around, and their zone manager gets with each of the dealers, and they're in their region. There's so many zone managers that handle all the dealerships in the region, and they kind of go over what they call wholesale, which means the production. So that's the scheduling, production numbers, your allocations you have, how many allocations you can request for, and that kind of stuff. And so we went through that this week in this little packet. So and we spent about an hour. Actually, I think we were in there about an hour and a half this week talking about it because I asked a lot of questions because I was new to it. So talk about a few things. So they are balancing out a few models. So Mach-E, 21 Bronco, 21 Expedition, 21 Ranger, and F-150. They're trying to balance it out, which means that they know how many, they're trying to figure out how many they can finish building, and then everything else is going to get pushed to a 22 model year, basically. So like a Bronco, they knew they weren't going to fulfill all of the orders for this model year. Some of those are getting pushed to 22. They're starting up this next month, looks like, for Escape, Bronco Sport, Edge, Explorer, and Transit. So all those can be ordered now. And they're going to start up production. We're going to schedule that this next month and for different months. Let's see, Bronco Sport is the startup for Bronco Sport will be November. And the startup for Edge will be also be November. Escape will be November, and Explorer as well. So all those can be ordered now. 22 order guides are available. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Notice they popped up this week for several different models, and we'll talk about a couple changes on some of those. But those are going to be start up for production here very soon. Now let's talk about Maverick. So a little bit of Maverick information that I learned from Wholesale this week, and one of those will have to do with some questions some of you have out there. I'm sure that's popping up. Maverick info. So November national production is going to be 2,700 units. So that's how many units they want to produce in the month of November, and they're forecasting December to be 4,900. So they're almost double November's production in December. So December sounds like it's going to be a big month in a way of production for a lot of people, so keep that in mind. I did kind of go over some things with us. Now, the KC region for next month for September scheduling, the KC region together gets 93 allocations for Maverick. McArthur's getting 43 of 93. So we're getting almost half of the allocations at McArthur for our entire region. So that kind of shows you a little bit. Some people said, you know, maybe I know some people are concerned, should I have gone with a smaller dealer? Possibly, like she was saying, most of the dealers that she has, we're the only one that has more than 10 orders at the dealership. So a lot of those that have a small number aren't going to have a lot of allocations, and a lot of those, they haven't even verified their orders. So they have the orders submitted, but until it gets verified and go through the verification process, they're not going to probably get their allocations. So of course, we put in more than our 43. We put in what they call supplement, so we can ask for more than that. So if there's some dealerships out there maybe that don't fulfill theirs or something, I don't know if we can get extra orders, but they will let us know, especially if our region has 93 and maybe there's dealerships out there and they can't fulfill the whole 93 with what people want because they don't have orders. Then we ask for more. Sometimes we can get those and it'll be balanced out. We'll get the definite number probably by the end of the week. I think they said Thursday or Friday we'll get the definite number, but for right now they're giving us 43 to start with. Of course, like we said, a little disappointing. We wanted to see a lot more than that. Again, we're the #1 dealer in the region when it comes to those orders. Another thing to note is that they're not doing no stock allocations for September. So this next month there will be no stock allocations. They'll all be retail allocations. So your custom orders out there, that's the only thing that they're going to pull. They're not going to pull anything for stock. The last couple months, we've been seeing a few stock units for production. That's not the case for September. So all the November production will be retail sold orders. So those 2,700 will be totally 100% sold customers. Talked about the 4K tow package and commodity restraints. They did give us that information. I think I mentioned this last week. Hopefully I mentioned it last week to you guys, but they are saying bed covers, the tonneau covers, whether it be the hard folding, the soft folding, or the hard rolling, those are saying looking like national commodity is 0% of the orders will be pulled that have tonneau covers on there. So I would recommend, if you want yours scheduled next month, then I would pull those tonneau covers off, because it looks like for at least for September's scheduling, they're not going to pull any tonneau covers. Also, they're not going to pull any with bed mat. They said 0% for that. Protective fender film, also 0%, and spray and bed liner, the optional spray and bed liner, also 0%. If it's included in a package, that's different. They did say, I did see that the luxury package, XLT luxury package, is pretty low, 14%, well, 17% for the Lariat luxury. Now, that is national. Each region can be a little different. There was actually, what's really funny is when we looked at our region, there wasn't anything listed for commodity constraints, but it looks like it says no regional controls. So I don't know if that means that we may not be limited, and maybe just by region. But just to be safe, I would probably take those off. And we're going to actually talk about accessories. I do have the Ford Maverick dealer channel accessory guide here. And I'm going to go through some of those here in a little bit of what different accessories and some of those things that can be ordered from your parts department at your local Ford dealer. Okay, finish off the wholesale. I did want to kind of talk about Edge for a second. 2022 Edge, the startup, they're going to build 100% all-wheel drive. So at the very beginning, for the first allocations, they're going to be all-wheel drive. And there's 2 appearance packages that are new for the 22 model year. There's an SE Black appearance package and an SEL Adventure appearance package. For those that have Mavericks out there, you'll probably think this is kind of funny, but the Adventure pack interior is going to have some orange stitching on the seats. So just throwing that out there. So they're really, I think Ford's committed to having these orange accents in their vehicles in some fashion. You'll notice the Timberline has some orange accents on the outside too. So it's kind of funny, I think. Anyway, moving on real quick before we get to your questions. I want to talk about the order guide updates. We did get some order guides are available now. I'll mention that because you can now order the 22 Edge, the 22 Escape, 22 Bronco Sport, and it looks like the 22 Bronco order guide is not out yet. They said they're hoping here soon it will be out. They're wanting to balance out 21 before they open up the 22, so we should see that in just a couple weeks, that those will be showing up here pretty soon. So kind of just quickly to talk about just a couple things on the order guide. 22 Escape, I just want to really not a lot of changes for 22, but I'll probably do a separate video on what's new for the 22 Escape. But the colors, new colors for 22 on Escape: Atlas Blue, Stone Blue, as well as Ice Blue Silver. That sounds kind of cool. So those are new colors. They're going to remove Antimatter Blue, Bronze Fire, Desert Gold, and Velocity Blue from the 22 Escape. So for that. Now on the 22 Bronco Sport, there's several things I want to cover. Of course, one of them is the colors. New colors, they have a bronze smoke metallic, red pepper, the hot pepper red, I should say, tinted clear coat. That is going to be available for the 22 Bronco Sport, as well as Velocity Blue. They're getting rid of Kodiak Brown and Rapid Red Metallic. Actually, I'm seeing Rapid Red Metallic being discontinued in a lot of models for 22. So I'm a little concerned about that color for your first editions for the Maverick, because at this point I don't see a Rapid Red in any vehicle lineup for 22 model year that we have order guides out yet, which concerns me that maybe Rapid Red may not end up being available for the first edition. So I don't have any confirmation of that yet. Right now the brand manager hasn't emailed me back recently, so I think I've been asking him a lot of questions. Also, some other things. I can go into these in a different thing. I did notice that they are changing some of the packages on the Bronco Sport. So instead of the Big Ben having a Big Ben package, Outer Banks having an Outer Banks package. They're titling them differently. They have a convenience package on the Big Ben that will include the intelligent access, by the way. I think that's a really cool feature. And they're also the Outer Banks, they're giving it they call it a tech package for the Outer Banks, and then on the Badlands, instead of the Badlands package, they're calling it a premium package, and they're taking the moonroof off of those packages. So in the past, those packages came with a moonroof. Now it's a standalone option, it looks like. So I want to talk about those. Now let's talk about something that somebody released earlier, I think, on the Maverick Truck Club forum, and that the media for the Maverick test drive embargo, the date for that's going to be lifted is October 5th. So October 5th, that morning, you're going to start seeing a bunch of the different Maverick test drive videos, articles, and such go out. So October 5th, we can see that. And Ford Media has told us they're going to have some videos, and they want to put their stuff out there late September. We don't know the date yet. So later this month, we can see some of that information. That's all the news that I wanted to cover. So let's get into some questions. And at some point when we get kind of a lull, I'll go over some of these different accessories that you can get from Ford Parts. And we already have part numbers for those, so they can be ordered now ahead of time and have them there before your vehicles come in. So one of the questions I did have earlier was somebody asked about if we can add skid plates from the dealer. I would recommend, if you want to add skid plates, that you add that from the factory. So get your order changed, add the skid plates to it if you want. I would rather probably not do that. So I probably not try to do that. I mean, I didn't see it in the this accessory guide, so it's not considered an accessory, but it still could be a part that could possibly be ordered. So probably could be done if you really wanted to that way. So also, some people had asked about the hybrid. So that's something I kind of been putting off. They asked about, there's some news going out that they're saying until further notice, no hybrid retail orders are going to be scheduled. And if you'll notice, that was floating out based on the dealer news for this week. So that's just based for this week. And again, this is not a full schedule week. This is a cleanup week. So they're not going to schedule any hybrids for this week or cleanup week. So it doesn't mean that they're not going to be available next week. So, and you know, probably some of the hold on the hybrid is probably because it is a new engine. It's a new motor that Ford is producing in-house instead of getting it built like on the Fusion and some of the other vehicles and Escape and such. That was an engine that someone else pretty much built, and they bought it from another vendor, and then now they're going to produce that in-house. And so they're taking over, or they're trying to do more and more with some of the EV you know, components, whether it be the batteries and the hybrid engines. They're going to try to take that all in-house. So that's something that we're seeing. So I wouldn't be too concerned yet. Those that have your hybrid orders, I'd love to know if you have, you know, put a thumbs up in the comments if you have a hybrid that has been scheduled. I'd love to know if any hybrids have been scheduled yet. Here at Long McArthur, last month, we did not get any hybrids scheduled. All of our orders right now happen to be the EcoBoost engine. So I'd love to know if there's any hybrids out there that have been scheduled already. Love to see that, but it looks like, I mean, I don't, just because it was in this week's notes doesn't mean it's going to be for next week. Because again, I think it says until the next production cycle. Well, that's next week. So let's not do it too rush in a hurry that, you know, hybrids won't get scheduled next week, or you're going to have a long period you got to wait. It's not like a late availability or anything like the hybrid. It's just they want to try to get that done. I got a thumbs down, but not a thumbs up. So anyway, so and somebody did make a comment right there about the you know, the Maverick reservations, over 100,000 Maverick reservations. And I will make a note to that. You know, even the zone managers don't understand the reservation versus the ordering, because she had mentioned that there are a lot of her dealers that they're, you know, they have under 10 orders. They're not in double-digit orders, but they have a lot they haven't converted. And I'm like, when you say converted, do you mean that they haven't been approved to the verification process, or do you mean that that it hasn't been, you know, that they haven't converted the reservations over? She says, oh, they haven't converted reservations. Well, keep in mind, we're getting some thumbs up now. So here we go. So we got 1, 2, I close the hybrid. Okay, well, let's thumbs up. So we got some hybrids. So there are some hybrids that have been scheduled, looks like. And a bunch of people that haven't been, theirs haven't been scheduled. But where's I going about that? Yeah, there's a lot of people that have put a lot of reservations in at a lot of different dealerships, and those are all going to count, but a lot of those won't get converted because they're going to only order from maybe one dealership. So that means that those other reservations won't be converted over. So she didn't quite understand that on that part of that. But so of those 100,000 reservations, you know, probably only half to 60% of those are going to get converted over from reservation to actual orders. And because of that, because people are trying to see what dealer is going to give them the best deal. So anyway, so I want to kind of clarify that for that. So I wouldn't get too worried about the hybrid. I know a lot of people, you know, they put that out there, and a lot of people are looking at. Again, don't forget, next production cycle starts next week. So that means this week we won't see any hybrid scheduled. So if you do have a hybrid on order, you know, you can, don't worry about checking your emails next Thursday. You probably won't get scheduled because it did say no hybrids will be scheduled this week. But next week is when the new production cycle sets up. Then let's look and see what they tell us for scheduling notes for next week. If that continues to be on there next week, then we can maybe talk about it and have that discussion. But at this point, I don't think we need to go worry too much about it at this point in time. Not much we can do about it either way. But somebody said, what is the verification process? I spoke about. So the way Ford's been doing it since kind of the plants closed down for a while, and because of chip issues and everything, Ford said we're only going to start making vehicles that are for customers. So to do that, we need to verify those orders. And to verify the orders, they need to see not only the order, who it was scheduled for, or who the order was submitted for, and then they also need to see a copy of the driver's license that matches up to that person. So when I put my order in, it has my name, address, and everything that I signed it and everything, and they have to see a copy of that as well as a copy of my driver's license to verify that it's a real person, that's not a made-up person with a made-up address. And so that's that verification process. So some dealers, they don't know how to go through the verification process. So some of those dealerships, if they haven't been verified, then that order is not gonna, they're not gonna look for that order to produce it, because like I said, this next scheduling for September is going to be full retail orders. They're no stock orders, so dealers won't be able to use their dealer allocations next month for those customers, because that's another way you can use your orders. Because in the past, you really didn't have retail and stock. You used your stock allocations for your retail orders, your special custom orders. Now it's actually kind of almost separate there. Sense, and they're going to try to do those first. So anyway, I asked, do you foresee rapid red? I hate to say anything because I do like to be 100% confident in things, but I don't know. I guess I'm just a little nervous seeing that a lot of models are dropping rapid red from not being available for 22 model year. That just concerns me that maybe Maverick won't, but maybe they're gonna just make it exclusive because it's only a first edition color anyway. You have to have a first edition to get the rapid red, so maybe they are just gonna make it just a first year color. So I probably shouldn't worry too much about it, but I think it is gonna be a color that's not available in other models like Bronco. They dropped it for 22 and such. But also they dropped Lightning Blue, which is a color that was only available in first editions as well. So maybe just a 1 year color for the Maverick and only available on the first edition. So what does priority code 2 mean? 2 means that the region can pull your order down under 10, and they typically, when your vehicle is being previewed, they'll pull it down to 2. That means you can't change it. So that when they pull it down under 2, the dealer can't make any changes to that order. So then they can preview it as is. So they want to look at that order. And so they're usually, if it's a 2, that's a good sign. My Bronco was pulled down to priority 2 for 2 weeks before it was finally scheduled. So that usually means they want to look at your order possibly to probably schedule it for production. So that's a good thing. So if yours is in a status priority 2, and your dealer has told you that, then that's a good thing for you. That makes it look like you're probably going to get scheduled pretty soon. I agree. Somebody pointed out here, they says if they drop the rapid red, they should already have told asking customers to update. That's true. So maybe it will be just a 1 year color. So that you got a great point there. Okay, so somebody did comment, the wording did say until further notice. I did see somewhere else where somebody had posted, and it wasn't in the scheduling notes, but I thought somebody had mentioned until the next production cycle. Our zone manager did say that those, and my general manager also reminded me too, that the scheduling notes come out on a weekly basis. So the key word there though says until further notice. So that does make me nervous. And normally you would say they're not scheduling hybrids this week. But in this case, it did say until further notice. So that made me a little concerned, but he did remind me, he said things change on a weekly basis. So just keep that in mind. So just because it says that this week doesn't mean it next week. So we really don't know, because if they're having issues with the hybrid engines, that could be why it says until further notice, just like with the stock hybrids until further notice as well. So it could be the fact that they're having some issues, but in a whole week they can take care of what they need to, or they could get those ramped up. So just need to wait and see what it looks like for tomorrow or for next week. But if you're one out there that's kind of on the fence between a hybrid and an EcoBoost, that might be something that can take you over that spot to kind of look at, because maybe that makes you want to get an EcoBoost instead. So if you're kind of on the fence there, let's look at the fuel economy. You can get an EcoBoost front wheel drive, and I believe you guys can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but somewhere around 28 to 30 miles per gallon on the highway. City is where you're going to really save a lot on the front wheel drive. So if you do a lot of city driving, then that might be a case for you. But if you're kind of going to drive a mixture, then maybe go EcoBoost. You're still going to get really good fuel economy there, and that might be something you can look at. So maybe you want to switch it over to EcoBoost. And again, don't forget, you can, as long as it hasn't been scheduled or it's being previewed, then you can change your order, and that includes your engine. So if you want to switch from the hybrid to the EcoBoost, go front wheel drive, you can do that. So really depends on what you want to do there and how much longer it's going to be. So keep that in mind. And we did actually look up our orders, by the way. I was going to mention this earlier. So of our orders, we had we're over 306 orders now, I believe, or something like that. And of our orders, 244 of our 306 are hybrids. So we have, I think, 97 of our orders are the EcoBoost engine. So if that tells Ford anything, if that is, of course, if you knew the whole country and what they ordered, we have a better knowledge of this. But since we do have over 300 orders at our dealership, that's a pretty good chunk to be able to maybe be able to gauge some things in a way of what people are doing overall nationally. And if we have that many people, I figured it up, it was like 71% of those orders were hybrid. So that means that 70% of the country probably is ordering the hybrid. So they need to get it figured out. So hopefully they do get it figured out. Order the bed mat and soft tonneau cover. Are they affected? Bed mat and soft tonneau cover are affected. So right now it's saying 0% commodity constraint. That means they're going to order 0% of their mixture will be with those. So that means they're not planning on pulling an order with any of the tonneau covers or a bed mat. So keep that in mind. So if you have those on there, might be a good idea. And if you have your order in here at McArthur, contact your salesperson. They should be able to change that. If they don't call you right back, let me know. You can give me a call here as well at the dealership, and I will try to get that changed for you, and then get you a new sheet sent out to you. So again, don't forget, especially if you're having it ordered here and then we're delivering it to you, we can go ahead. We can also order that bed cover and have it put on. Our aftermarket guys are awesome. Again, we do a lot of custom builds, if you know anything about McArthur, so we don't have any issues putting on those covers whatsoever. And usually we don't have to use our service department because our guys in the aftermarket, our 3 guys over there, they put a lot of those covers on those trucks, so they won't have any issues putting that on correctly the way it's supposed to be put on for you. And there's also a bed cover that is available that's not listed on their website that does have a part number that you can get. I'm going to cover that here in just a little bit when we get a chance here. Maverick at the Kansas State Fair. I hadn't heard that, but wouldn't be surprised. KC region usually will usually put some vehicles in there. Typically, though, at our fair, that's usually vehicles they ask the dealers to provide and take over. If we have a Bronco Sport or something like that to take over. Hopefully, maybe they're allowing them to get a Maverick for the fair. That'd be pretty cool. If so, find out if there is. I will travel over there and get some video of it for you. I can even go live as well if I find that out. So I'll try to find out for sure. So I've seen a couple comments about that. So yep, somebody posted this bulletin was released this afternoon by Ford. Yep, I'm aware of that. I kind of mentioned that. Where it was released for Ford is an email out to all Ford dealers. They actually email out the scheduling notes every week. Actually, they send it out twice a week, to be honest. They send one out on Tuesday and then again on Wednesday, because sometimes there's some updates on Wednesday. So they send it out twice. So we got the same email. So that's what I was kind of referring to. So yes, it is correct. It does say until further notice, no hybrids will be ordered, no retail hybrid orders. That's correct. Like I said, those are weekly notes though. So let's keep that in mind. And until further notice is the key words there that kind of concerns me a little bit. It doesn't say this week. It does say until further notice. So it could last more than 1 week. But those are weekly notes, and so those notes could be changed for next week as well. So keep that in mind too. So, any special financing for a Maverick? Yes, there is some low interest rates that showed up for incentives this month as well. I think I did see like I think there was a 0.9 for 48, 1.9 for 60, or maybe that was 48. So there's some low interest rates at through Ford Credit right now going on. So all right. All right. How long after the build to ship? You know, typically we can usually say about a month from when it's been built to when you can see it at the dealership, I'd say. Once it's been shipped, usually a couple weeks. I mean, that's usually the case. But usually we tell people that once you get that build date and say, hey, it was built on this day, usually you can figure about 4 weeks. I'm saying 4 to 6 for most people, because if I tell you 4 at 6, then you're going to be mad at me. And if I tell you 6 and it's 4, you're going to be happy, right? So I'm going to try to go with that. That's why I'm just telling people 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, especially right now, especially on a launch, they always take a little longer at launch because they check more of the vehicles especially at the very beginning at the launch. So just expect it to be a little bit longer than a normal time for a normal vehicle. Once production's up and running, you can probably expect 4 weeks, but for right now, I really think it's going to be a 4 to 6 from the time it's been built. So that's my gut, and that's kind of what I'm saying. And so I don't know where you want to take that, but you think the Maverick will eventually get the park assist? Active park assist? I don't know, and the reason I don't think so, at least for a while, because the active park assist, hasn't been on the EcoBoost, or the EcoBoost, sorry, the EcoSport. Hasn't been on the EcoSport yet. And I think it's because it's a shorter vehicle. And, even on the Escape, you have to go up to the titanium trim to get it. It is available on the upper models of the Escape. So maybe we might see it on the Lariat trim eventually. But I'm not sure. It is a smaller vehicle, so we'll see if it's going to be on there or not. Yeah, people are asking if you ordered one on a certain date, when will it be built? We really don't know. There's a lot that goes into this, and I did a video on the Bronco, and a lot of people hated me on that video because I mentioned things, and they didn't think that they said some unkind things on the Bronco video I did about, if you want to get a Bronco scheduled fast, this is how you should build your Bronco. And it was really just a suggestion, because I'm one of those out there that I really wanted a Bronco, and I know how modular they are. And so I kind of mentioned in that video, if you want to get one scheduled quickly, here's how you should order it, or here you should not order it. And a lot of people took offense to that, and they said, well, Ford should be able to produce them, and it shouldn't matter. That's correct, but if they're wanting to see a big chunk and there's something they can build quickly, and they know they have all this stuff, because like I mentioned in that video, the mid package includes a lot of things that are standard in other packages. So if you get something like a base with a mid package, 4-door cloth top, boy, it's going to get scheduled real fast. And a lot of people they've actually mentioned they ordered an XLT EcoBoost. They didn't add a lot of extra options on there, and boom, they got scheduled really quick. And that's really bases on what you have. Like right now, we know if you have a hybrid, you're not getting scheduled. We have 0 hybrids have been scheduled at our dealership out of, I think, 25 on order. So 0 for 25 isn't very good odds there. And so we know that. So if you order like an EcoBoost, you order like an XLT, maybe a luxury package, don't add a lot of other options. You're getting scheduled pretty quickly. And I've always kind of said, I've been telling people on the Maverick, just like with the Bronco, don't add a bunch of things that are accessories that you can get afterwards. So like with my Bronco, I didn't add any roof racks. I didn't add all-weather mats. I didn't add the bed mat. I didn't add rock rails or the modular front bumper. Those are all things I'm going to put on my Bronco, but I didn't order them that way, and I got scheduled. I bounced way up onto our orders. I was at 150 at our dealership, and I'm the 25th order here at the dealership because of how I ordered my Bronco. So I ordered 6 months after a lot of other people. So a lot of people thought that I was ridiculous in my video, but I was just saying, if you want to get ordered, you want to get scheduled, you want to get one of these quickly. If you want to get a Maverick, you want to get it quickly, probably want to go EcoBoost right now. So that's just, something that's going on. So you know, I'd love to be able to say order hybrid a certain way, but right now, you know, even like this week, dealerships that have allocations available, if they have some EcoBoost orders, they're going to get them scheduled. Now, if you have a dealer, there's a dealer that has an allocation available and all they have are hybrids, they're not going to get scheduled this week. So they're going to have that open allocation not be used. So why do dealers make orders stock instead of retail? Can I have them change after ordered? Yes. Also, what is invoice pricing? Can I get it with retail order? Okay, so basically, dealers can order stock units and retail. So stock units are what they put on their lot, and then you have retail units are pretty much their sold units. So it's telling Ford that this when it comes in, it's sold. So it's not going to the lot, and so they use that should take priority. So especially if you ordered from a dealership and they're not sure, and they're just going to use their stock allocations, and that's because at the beginning a lot of dealers didn't think they had a lot. So what they did is some of them were using stock allocations because all dealers were getting a couple. But right now like we're seeing for November builds, they're gonna all be retail. So if you have your order in and your dealership has it in as a stock order, it's not going to get scheduled for November build. So it's not going to get scheduled in September. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you check with your dealer and find out if you have a retail build or a stock build. If it's in there as a stock and the priority code's not under 20, then it's a stock. There's two different things that you'll see on there. It'll show that it's a stock type, and it'll also show that the priority code is like a 20 or above. So you want to make sure they change that. Say, I want that to be a retail order, please. I don't want it to be one of your stock orders. And then you can invoice pricing. That's, you just work with your dealer what they're doing. We're doing MSRP. We're not going below MSRP on these. We can see that demand with people and everything. There are some dealers that are going below MSRP, and I don't blame you. There are a lot of dealers that are going way above MSRP as well. There are a lot of people that are on the different social media sites that are trying to find dealers that will do MSRP because all their dealers that they're finding are like, you know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 over MSRP. So we ordered our XLT on the 22nd of June, and because of your advice, we took the spray-in bed liner off and got pulled the second week. Went as soon as possible for that. So not everything I say works. In that case, back then we knew that the spray-in bed liner, the optional one, would hold up, and so they did get scheduled, and looked like they probably had an EcoBoost engine probably, and they got pulled. So I just follow what Ford tells us on the scheduling notes on every week. So when I've been updating you guys on things, it's that way. Now, there are several people out on social media, and if you follow the Maverick Truck Club, you're going to get updated if there's any major changes like that, like today, where that's been going across talking about the updates with no hybrids right now. That news is going to get out there, and it's going to get if you go to Maverick Truck Club, you're going to get that. If you're on the Reddits, the subreddits, you're going to see those popular posts for the Maverick Truck Club subreddit, and you're going to get that information, and you're going to know what it is. And then of course tag me. A lot of people tag me in there and say, Tim, is this true? And I usually confirm it. Usually it's because I don't get those emails sent to me from the zone manager. I'm not high enough in our dealership, so there are people that are in those forums that do get those direct emails, and so they get it up there real quickly. I always usually like to double check, hey, did we get any emails from Ford with our general manager? And he goes, yep, here you go, and he forwards it to me, and then I look on there, and yep, sure enough, no hybrid orders this week, or until further notice, as we know there. So just keep that in mind. So are floor liners delaying Maverick builds? No, they're not. I just use floor liners as an example on my Bronco just because, for one, I wanted to see what they look like once some of these orders came in. But I knew it was something that I could order afterwards. So anytime, typically when I order a vehicle, a custom order vehicle, I don't order a lot of accessories. If it's something that can only be put on at the factory, like I did add auxiliary switches to mine. I added the LED headlights to my Bronco, and there was something else I added to my Bronco. Can't remember. I got the mid package. There was something else. There were like 3 things that I got on the Bronco that have to be done at the factory, and so I did order those on the Bronco. But like accessories, or like the modular front bumper, is actually a factory installed option. But also I knew it was going to be a modular build, so I knew I could get it later. So I took that off of my build So those are a couple things. I originally ordered it with hardtop, and as soon as Ford said in June, July, I can't remember when it was, they said hardtops are a constraint. I took it off. I says, hey, if I took that off, I might get lucky and get moved about a bunch of other people and get ordered and get scheduled for build, and I did. So can you answer? Okay, so what a cleanup is. Okay, so a lot of people are asking that. So basically, when you start a month and you get, they pretty much tell you, like, we know for next month we're going to get, then they're going to update it. We're going to get at least 43 allocations for next month. That means that's how many vehicle orders can be scheduled from our dealership orders. So let's say that first week, 23 get scheduled. So now we have 20 left up. So the next week we'll get 15 scheduled. So now we have 5 left. So then the last couple weeks are usually cleanup. So any dealerships that still have allocations that haven't been scheduled. So if we still had those 5 left in the next week and they don't get scheduled. So there are some dealers that don't have a lot of allocations. So they only have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And so usually the first couple weeks, they don't really tell you, what they're looking for necessarily. They'll tell you what is not going to be scheduled, but they don't always tell you what they're looking to schedule. Like they may be saying, hey, our plant, we want a couple others to kind of clean up and just get a nice scheduling or a nice build week, or whatever. And they know that, okay, they could use another 5 XLTs from the Kansas City region. So we're looking for, XLT Luxury EcoBoost, for this last week. And if you have allocations available and you have some orders that fit that bill, they're going to pull them. So that's what cleanup is they're trying to kind of clean up their build schedule week, as per se, for right now for October. So they're still finishing out any that gets scheduled this week for Maverick. It'll be an October build week, or a build month, I should say, one of those dates, probably the last month in October there. So keep that in mind. So hopefully I clarified that. So I do throw out some terms that we use, like wholesale, like cleanup, like scheduling. And when I say pulled, I mean the vehicle, that order is pulled to schedule for a production week. So in scheduling, if you have if you're scheduled this month, like what we have on this is there's production weeks and there's schedule weeks. So we're looking at schedule month of September, but it's for builds depending on the model. So for Maverick, they're scheduling for September for November builds, whereas Super Duty, they're scheduling in September for October builds. So it really depends. Usually it's a couple months out, as you can see on there. It's usually a couple months out. So September's wholesale for most everything is for November startup, for November production. There's one there for October Super Duty, so they go a little bit quicker. So it really just depends on what it's doing. So hopefully I clarified that. So you guys want to go over this accessory guide here, what we can get in the way of what we have part numbers on and what accessories are? There's a couple things in here that surprised me. Guys don't mind, I'll go over that with you. Will first edition take longer to get compared to not getting that edition? Yeah, first editions, we saw it with Bronco as well, and we did see Bronco's finally gonna this week is gonna be only first editions. They'll probably do that. They'll probably have a couple weeks where it's just first editions. So I'm not sure when that is. It seems like most of the models, for some reason, they try to get a bunch of, I think what they're trying to do is get the builds that are most common, like XLTs with the luxury, Lariats with the luxury, Lariats, XLTs. They're trying to get as many of the ones they can fulfill, like a bunch of orders, and say, hey, we got a bunch that are just alike, and most people are ordering this type of build, and then they just produce a bunch of them so they can get as many out as possible. And then, there's going to be a less number have maybe first editions, so they'll hold off until they get more and more and more of them. And then, okay, now we have a lot that we can do a whole week of first editions or something like that. So, all right, so let me go over this. There's a couple things in here, and I probably won't bore you with everything, but these are like part numbers that we have. That means you can get it through any of your Ford parts departments on any of these. So of course all your bed covers are in here. So we have the bed cover, the soft folding. The soft folding tonneau cover is actually by Advantage, and that's who makes that. That can be getting you can purchase that from your dealer. The bed cover hard folding, that's by Rev, and also the hard roll up is also by Rev. So that one there, those are all available. There's some others down here. Actually, it's on the second page. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Also, the side window deflectors by Lund, that's going to be available afterwards. Fender flare pocket style pre-assembled textured black by Bushwhacker. So you can get Bushwhacker fender flares for your Maverick. So if you're wanting to lift your Maverick, there you go. You have a part number here. Your Ford dealer can get you the fender flares. Our accessories, our Long McArthur Performance Accessories department can get these for you as well. Sport liner with the tailgate cover by Bedrug, and then there's a bed mat. So those of you that say the bed mat says 0%, take your bed mat off. We'll get you one. Have it here before your truck gets here, and we can have your bed mat available for you. Seat covers, spoiler. So there's a bunch of air design things. And one of them is a rear spoiler on the rear of the cab, so that would go on above the cab. We put those on our LMX4 or our lightning bolt builds. We put those on the cab spoilers on those. Hood scoop kit as well. So I wish I would have had this. I didn't get this in time. Otherwise, I would have gotten some pictures, because at the dealer meeting they showed some of these things, some of the vehicles. They're actually floating out there on the Maverick Truck Club and subreddit for these, but there are some vehicles that had the cab spoiler as well as the hood scoop kit, so you can get a by Air Design. They have a bunch of things: tailgate applique, door molding kit. Some people wanted the molding on the doors. Here you go. Fender flare kit. So there's another fender flare you can get by Air Design through your Ford parts department here. Tailgate spoiler as well. You do have the pet rear seat cover. And then you have some other seat covers here by Covercraft, and then windshield screen by Covercraft as well. You have the easy down tailgate assist. Now there's a soft roll-up bed cover that is not showing on Ford's website. It was in the demo that was brought here at the dealership that I did a video on. That was a soft roll-up kind. That is available by Truxedo, is who makes that. That's going to be available for you. That one's only $369 if you're needing a roll-up one. It's Velcro on the outside, I believe, for that. The paint protect film package, again, that's something that will hold up your order. Take it off. You can have that put on as well later, so that can be done. Of course, we do some protection packages here at the dealership. Hood protectors, a couple different styles there by Lund. A bed extender is available afterwards as well. So again, that's something that's not saying it's holding up your order right now, but if you have it on there, it probably wouldn't help to help take it off. And then there's some appliques for your B pillars that you can get, one with a keypad, one without. So that's basically, if you break that, the pillar there, the B pillar, if you like that, they have that here just in case, like some reason you might damage that, you can get it replaced. Door seal guard as well, it can go on those by Putco. And then tailgate lettering, so you can get a polished stainless steel by Putco, or you can get the black platinum. So you can get tailgate lettering that goes in there where Maverick is if you want to really make that stand out. It looks like there's a black, or there is a stainless steel version of that. So for those letters, bed cap. So the couple, now here you go. Here are these. There is a painted hard bed cover. So a lot of people like that. That goes over basically it is a cap that goes over the bed. That is available in all the different colors. There's only one color not mentioned in there. So there's black. There's the Alto blue, Area 51, Cactus gray, Carbonized gray, Cyber orange, Red pepper red, Iconic silver, Velocity blue, Oxford white. Rapid red is not mentioned. Throwing that out there. Anyway, and then so you have those available. Splash guards. Some people wanted the splash guards. That's a late availability item. Already has a part number, so we might be able to get those ahead of time. The storage boxes that go in the back. Those are these are called undercover. These are by Undercover. Pivot left side hand and right side hand. I'm not sure what those exactly are, so I'm hoping to get some image of these for next week. Graphics, there's a couple different graphics packages, some stripes on the side, movable roof racks, Floor liners, so your all-weather floor liners again are there. Those shouldn't hold up your build, but those are available afterwards. And then the bed cargo net. Also, you can get again splash guards. Two different kinds of splash guards. So there we go. You have this other one is a heavy-duty gator back, front and rear. They're separate. Those are $249 for the front, $249 for the rear. So wow, by Truck Hardware, if you know what those are. And then the splash guards that you normally would get from the factory, the molded ones, they're $50 for 2 front ones and $50 for the 2 rear ones. So $100 for the whole, all 4 of them. And cargo management rail system. So I don't know if that's the 2 rails on the side, $225 for that. So maybe if you like that from that package, as well as a hitch is available. So those are some pretty cool things. So again, those are the accessories. Those are those things that could hold up your build. You can always get those after you get your vehicle through your accessories that way. So that doesn't. Someone on a site said you guys have 1,000 orders. No, we don't. We have 300 orders, which is still pretty good chunk. I'm sure we have less than the ones that are going under MSRP on their pricing, but we do include the free shipping with ours. Alrighty, so we're getting close to. I usually like to go about an hour on these live streams. With accessories list on Truck Club. I actually the one I have, the only copy that they gave me is the top. Kind of looks, for one, it has prices, but the top was kind of like messed up, so I was going to get some images of it, but I'll try to get those on there. I'm sure somebody will anyway, but I will try to do that. It shows the pricing and everything on those, and I'll try to throw those up on both places if somebody else hasn't already done. I'm surprised somebody hasn't done that yet. And maybe these just came out today, but again, my aftermarket guy is usually on top of that. As soon as he gets stuff like that, he knows that I've been interested in this and wanting to get that list. So I'm sure that's why he brought it over today. But he just was available today, I think. I'd like to get images of these too, so we'll see if he can get me some images on those. So. Oh yes, something I did want to mention is they just kind of mentioned about the replacement on the hardtop for the Bronco. For those of you that are interested in Bronco, they did say their goal was October was going to be when they were going to be able to replace the hardtops for customers that received hardtops already, because the hardtop quality it's pretty sad actually. We actually got a first edition in last week, and it's. Once you take it off, you're not going to put it back on probably. It's just the quality is not where the Ford wanted it to be. And but they're saying now it looks like September this month they're going to be able to start shipping those out to customers, as well as start changing out the Broncos that have already been built with the hardtops, like the 2 doors, and the other ones with hardtops that have already been built, that were built in like June and July. They're going to be able to then go ahead and be able to put those hardtops on and get them shipped to dealers. So we should see a bunch of Broncos delivering to dealerships and such. So if you're out there, you got a Bronco with a cloth top, and you're wanting a hard top, might be some exchanges there. So coming up, so be looking on eBay for those. But I don't know if I thought about that too. I'm like, oh, I probably could get a cheap hardcover or hard top that way, but it probably, the quality is not where you want it to be. So you probably would not try to not get one of those. But so. All right, so questions. I missed any questions that really wanted answered? Try to answer that. Just tag me down here. All right, Jeff, he's my moderator. Have you any questions that I didn't answer that you saw that you needed covered there? Go ahead and post that down in there. Okay. Well, anyway, hopefully this video helped you out. Hopefully you got some information from this, and I could provide some information there. And so, not sure I satisfied the question that a lot of people were really wanting to find out tonight about the hybrids not being scheduled. And I just remind you that yes, it does say until further notice, but you know, just keep in mind that the notes that went out, and you even see the screenshots from the email that went out, that those are weekly scheduling notes, and this is a cleanup week. So just keep that in mind. A lot can happen in a week. So just throwing that out there that, you know, we may see next week where they might say they're going to be scheduling a bunch of hybrids. So we just, you know, don't know. So so just keep that in mind. Keep the faith. Now, if you're on the fence on the hybrid, you know, and you're thinking EcoBoost, you know, might be a good time to switch over to the EcoBoost. Again, next week is when you know, it'd be a good time to kind of switch that order over if you're going to possibly get scheduled, especially if you're at a dealership that doesn't have any allocations left for cleanup, and you're wanting to be prepped for next week. What is next week? Look at my calendar here. So the 13th, so the week of the 13th. So you'll have, you know, that to look at. So be thinking about that if you're on the fence on that and you want maybe an EcoBoost, and then maybe it is time to switch that over. But if you're really wanting a hybrid, you know, and you're okay waiting, you know, just leave that there and let's see what happens next week. Let's see what the scheduling notes look like for next week, and we can get a little more information on that. So hopefully maybe somebody can have some inside track onto the plant over there. I know that some people have posted on the Maverick Truck Club forum that they know somebody that works at the plant. Maybe they can get us some information there, and can get us more insight on maybe how long it'll be until, you know, they can do some hybrids. But it did look like we did have a few people that even on tonight. We only have 450 or so people, but it looks like, you know, there are some people that are on here that did get have a schedule, a hybrid build date. So it's not like they're not going to make any. So we'll just see how that goes. Maybe they're not real happy with the quality yet. I'm not sure, and maybe that's why they're holding off. But so, and don't forget, this next Monday is the first week for production for retail units. So for those of you that have a September 13th build date, those people can be really excited because they're going to get built next week, and maybe by the end of October you can see those showing up at your dealer. You can take delivery of your Mavericks, and the dealer stock units, those were built a couple weeks there at the end of August. I think we have 5 that have been produced. So we should start seeing those show up, and you know, when we see those here at the dealership, I'll be doing some videos for you, and so definitely want to you know, look at that, you know, because you can, you know, I don't know, I'll do all kinds of videos for that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy those when those come in, because those should come in early, and I will definitely, if those come in, and hopefully the you know, 1st of October, we'll be doing some videos. I'll make sure I keep to that date, but if we get a Maverick here before that, I'll make sure if I do a video, a test drive, we'll get a test drive video together that I can, you know, wait and have it go out the morning of October 5th. But more than likely, they're going to probably hold these stock units until Ford has done their media release, and probably, I'd almost guarantee a lot of these vehicles won't show up to dealers until after October 5th. That's just my take on it, because they don't want those test drive videos out there, and they know that if those start showing up at dealers are going to do test drive videos and get it out there, and they don't want that. So and it probably will be the beginning of October when we start seeing those show up to the dealership here. So again, close to that 6-week time frame that I was talking about. So please do have a state fair. Yeah, I'll do some information and find out if there's a Maverick at the state fair, and I might even see if anybody's gone down there. Also, if anybody's in the stream, or if watch any of this or watch this video even later, and they happen to go down to the state fair and they see the Maverick down there, you know, email me. Email address should be on our YouTube channel. If you click there's a contact information there, but it's pretty easy. TimothyBarts@gmail. Email me and let me know if it's at the state fair, and I'll make a trip down there, and we'll make sure we get a video down there. And I think if it's like most of the other ones, they're going to be locked up though. I may not be able to get into it. At least, of course, they won't have the keys, but hopefully they'll be unlocked so we can see what other colors are there and see what other, you know, different ones are there. Probably the same ones are floating around. Probably an Area 51, an XLT, and a Rapid Red first edition probably floating around there down there. But if one of those, but I'll definitely do that for you. So I thought there was another question. Somebody asked, is it 100,000 reservations or orders? It's 100,000 reservations. So not all those are converted over to orders. So there's not 100,000 Maverick orders out there. So keep that in mind. And we have seen numbers like around 20-30% that have actually been converted over to orders. So all right. Do you have any information on a hybrid build? Do you have a? You have. We actually have had several people that have emailed me their VIN number for their hybrids, so far, somebody has a hybrid scheduled for 920. So far, I haven't seen any EPAs. Basically what I'll do is when I put that in there, I put that in there, put the VIN in there. They actually, Ridgeview, go ahead and put my email address in there. I hit the wrong button there. Go ahead and put that in there for me. I really appreciate it. But when you, I don't even know what I was talking about. When I put the VIN number in to go ahead and pull the window sticker, it says that it's not available yet. So it looks like Ford doesn't have approved EPAs yet. That's why they can't create those window stickers yet. That's what I was saying. So sorry, can't do two things at once. So yeah, my email address. Let me go ahead and put it in here. Sorry, Ridgeview. I accidentally hit hide the comment instead of view. But yeah, if you guys, if you're down there and you see at the State Fair and Kansas here at Hutch, if you're there and you see the Maverick, email me, let me know, and I'll head down there and do a video for you guys. And I'll try to go live as well as do a recorded video. Probably do both, so just so you can see it as well. So anyway, well, thanks guys for watching the live stream. Don't forget, hopefully I didn't mention at the beginning of the live stream, but if you're not subscribed, hit the red subscribe button there on the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way you're going to get notified next time we have another video. So every week when we go live, we'll do a video. Looks like the numbers are pretty high. So if you guys are good with the 7 p.m., I'll move that, because I noticed at 6 p.m. it's still a little loud here in the showroom. So I moved it back to 7 p.m. for that. So hopefully that really helps out, allowing for more people to watch it as well, and being a little bit quieter helps me concentrate as well if there's less people in here. So if you're liking this time, then we'll continue to do that. So we'll do this again next week, and who knows what kind of, I really didn't think I had start of the week, start of the month, or yesterday when I was at home thinking about, well, what news do I have? I don't really have a lot of news, but a lot of things popped up today that I was able to talk about. And so a lot of news going on and a lot of questions. So keep those coming. As long as you guys have questions, we can do this each week. So we'll keep it going. So again, thanks for watching. Don't forget, smash the like button. Appreciate it. Share this video out. Feel free to put these on the different social media sites. I really appreciate it, and it really helps out the video and the live stream. So and hopefully you had some fun here with this, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much. So again, thanks for watching. Till the next video, I'm going to try to do some videos later in this the week on some different things that I need to do, some other different model videos, so I'll be looking for those videos as well. And as always, anything major and big on Maverick, we'll do a video on it. So again, thanks for joining me today, and until next week, see you later.